All right, update on the project. So it is off the rotisserie. It's just on jack stands right now. I just have the hood laying on there and the fender. I had the other one on just to get a rough idea fit. Lines look good. There's definitely going to be some work I'm going to have to do in here, both sides. Neither of them line up very well. And I'm waiting on doing the roof skin until my mini tubs are in, because it gives me a lot more light, freedom to move around. So I wanted to show you the main difference between these things. So you can see right off the rip, they're taller. And also because you have no radius here, it's just boxed, you can fit a much bigger tire. So that's why Mustangs to Fear built these things, so that you could fit a bigger tire. I've marked out on both sides approximately where they're gonna go. Okay, it's about 5 3/4 inches here and in the back. Draw a straight line. I'm gonna cut probably a 1/4 inch inside that line to give myself some wiggle room, both sides. The back seat panel here, I will have to square that up as well. I don't know how much yet, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. I just noticed, so I'll have to weld both of those. So the on the car, you know, I had these side assemblies that I welded to the floor, and it came with those wheelhouses. Now what they don't tell you on the Mustangs to Fear website or the video is that I will actually have to cut off the flange, both sides. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them off, give myself about an inch, 3/4 to an inch to an inch. I'll screw them onto the outer wheelhouses, pretty much where they were before. And that'll give me the material I need to weld to, and then I'll weld everything up. So this should be a pretty easy process. Can't imagine it taking a crazy amount of time. Famous last words, I know, but I think it's gonna go pretty well. And I've got my back seat panels here, because I have no brackets or anything on this car, not yet. So I've got the side panels there, so I can test fit to make sure that the panels, you know, they don't impede at all into the car. You know, I don't want to have to have a smaller seat. I don't want any of that. I just want everything to fit as stock. And from what I've found, that's what these mini tubs will allow. They say approximately a 305 rear tire without rolling the quarter here, which I'm definitely going to. So maybe I can get a 315 in there when the time comes. I'm not really worried about it. I mean, with the power that this thing is going to make, a 305 or 315 is probably not going to make any difference at all. So tread compound is going to be the biggest thing, I think. So we'll just see. Either way, I'm very excited to have it off that table and then off the rotisserie, and now it's you know, it's really getting there. It's gonna be great once I've got that roof skin, my trunk, hood and fenders aligned. Wow, then I'm gonna have something, you know, then I'm gonna have a car. So pretty excited, but yeah, let's get to it. Hello viewers, it's been a while. Been busy. Lots of other projects going on. Sold a couple vehicles, Christmas, New Year's, all that sort. You know how it goes. But I'm back on the car. I've made a lot of progress. It's been going great, and here we go. So, it is not on the rotisserie anymore. I built this little rolling dolly thing so I can move it around in and out of the garage too. So what I've done, got my roof on, right? Roof is on. Mini tubs are in. They are not fun. Took a long time getting those in, and there's still a ton of grinding to be done. But they're in. I'm very happy with how they turned out. A lot of grinding to do. I've got the doors, you know, like 95% there. I'm gonna have to add a little metal up in here, and I think I'll stop somewhere in this area. I like this gap. Looks like it's about, I don't know, a little less than 1/4 inch. I like that thickness there. I'm gonna have to smooth out the whole thing. I had to actually cut off a bit of the bottom corner here. It kicked out so far. The bottom edge was also tucked too far in. I had to get in there, bend it out, and there's a little bit of a crease, which that'll be filled in with primer and stuff probably. So I'm very happy with how everything lines up. You can see it's very even the whole way. Very happy about that. I've got these in. I still have to, with the roof, weld in up here from the inside for the drip rail there. I didn't see how I'd be able to weld on top because it's such a small gap. So I'm just going to pinch those closed, weld from underneath both sides. Welded both of these guys on for the fenders. I did run into an issue where the passenger side of the roof was down like 1/8 or 1/4 inch, and it was freaking me out. Got a bunch of measurements. I ended up using one of the long rams from the rotisserie to push the whole thing up, welded the roof on, and it stayed. So thank God for that. Driver's side door, also same thing, wide at the top, tighter at the bottom. This one didn't have as much of an issue down here. I might still pull in a little bit. So it flares out at the back of the door and the front of the door, and in the middle of the door it goes in. So I might have to bend that out a little. Another thing which caused a lot of grief. So regarding this quarter panel, I think this is the second one I got. So this edge was kicked out easily a 1/4 inch, right? And no amount of adjusting the door. And I even grabbed my original door up there to make sure it wasn't the problem wasn't with the door, and it was with the quarter. So what it is this flange here. See this edge? It's too fat, right? So even though I had it butted up right against the pillar here, it needed to come in more. And somehow, I don't know, I didn't realize that during the welding process or when I originally fitted up the doors, but you know, we fought with these things for a couple hours and eventually came to the conclusion that this whole area, okay, right here, this L, had to come in about a 1/4 inch. And that's what I did. So I used my plasma cutter, cut a line out of here, cut a line out of here, used a ratchet strap over there to the inside here, pulled it tight, and I've just tacked it in place, okay? And what that did is have like a perfect transition now, okay? It's great. I mean, it's freaking great. I'm so happy with that. And there's just no other way to do it. There was no other way to do it. You know, we were trying to bend the door out, and I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna twist it, or what will that do to the glass? So that ended up being the fix. Don't know if any of y'all have seen that problem, but that was how we got that done. The back, very happy with. So both of the extensions here are metal. They're from real cars. They're not reproduced. They fit really good. Like the lines here, everything is really smooth. all the way, both sides, really, really good. You know, minimal body work. My gaps, the trunk is just, I mean, finger tight. Same with these, just finger tight. The gaps here, look how nice and straight. Look at this side. I mean, a little tight on this side. I might move it over a 1/16. The gap up here, excellent. Linear the whole way. Very happy with that. The transition panel here ended up going in really well. I was worried about that a little bit. And then, so what I did for the mini tubs, so I never liked those brackets. I think I still got them. Yeah. So these are the brackets that these cars came with, you know, and they go on the original side of the wheelhouse. Never liked those. I thought they looked like crap. So I made these closeout panels. I really like that finished look of everything being attached. Once it's painted, it's all gonna look like one seamless piece. They weren't that difficult to make. They were fun to make, actually. I pretty much just made them out of cardboard first, and they're just one piece. You just cut some reliefs wherever you need a piece to bend, and then the heat from the welder, you can use a hammer and get everything else to line up really well. So very happy with how those turned out. It's amazing. I almost have a car now. Look at that thing. It's really cool. One other thing too, so I've seen several videos of guys welding the entire way here. I don't think I need to do that. That's not how the factory did it. I don't think there's any advantage of additional strength to do that. So I'm gonna grind those down, and then Mustang's to Fear makes these nifty metal pieces. Can't really hold it. Well, you get the idea. So what they do is they fill in the majority of the gap there. So that very minimal Bondo or filler, you know, will be needed. With these two, just gonna drill some holes, plug weld them in. They're just there to take up space, right? But they're really good. I got those when we visited Mustangs to Fear. Happy I did. And I will probably make some pieces, some just small metal pieces to fill this gap here. Again, that's something that can be filled in, but with filler, but I want everything metal that can be metal. So the plan is weld those drip rail channels in. I have so much grinding to do. It's crazy how much grinding. I had my cousin over and showed him how to grind, and he really liked it. So he ground down a lot of these welds in here. I still have to fill in the holes from that transmission cross member. I'm probably going to take a piece of metal, bend it across the whole way, and weld it from underneath so that it looks seamless under the car. So much grinding to do. And then in the back, you know, so much grinding. But it's okay. It's part of it. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I took the glass out too. I was worried about opening and shutting the doors over and over again would damage them. Another thing, so these are new Relic power window motors and all that. It is a royal pain in the ass to unclip and clip these things in. It is awful. I mean, I like sliced up my arm, both sides, trying to get them in, where I eventually decided, okay, well, just clip them in, and I'm gonna have an additional pigtail. So if I need to unplug them, I can, or plug them in if I need to move them up and down or whatever, because it is not worth the 10 or 15 minutes getting your arm wedged in there Well, at least with the glass in, it is extremely difficult. On that side, the driver's side, it's even worse because the motor is flipped the other way and the pigtail is touching the bottom of the door. There's no room to get your fingers in there, so it's a horrible, horrible design. The windows work great. They're easy to go in. Everything seems like great quality, but that was a really shitty engineering choice to have that pigtail designed that way. So 0 stars for that pigtail. 5 stars for the rest, so it'll end up being 4-star if I ever review them. So then after all that, we're gonna fit the fenders. Once the fenders are on, and I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna use the aftermarket or my originals. It all depends on how well they fit. I did notice on the passenger side here, at the very front of the fender, the last 6 inches or so, it kicked in. It's perfectly straight the whole way, and then it kicks in. So I could probably just slice a slice, pull it back out. That might be what I do. We'll see. I'm not there yet. Have to weld in the closeout panels. There's a bunch of little miscellaneous things under the car I want to weld in. Obviously the Watts link will have to be welded in. So I'm not sure if it's going to go back on the rotisserie. It may, because then I can, yeah, probably will, because then I'm going to paint everything underneath. I figure why not. And then I'll have a handmade car, guys. A handmade car. Pretty cool. Door is also shut pretty nice. Clang. It makes so much noise opening and closing. The hinges are original. I mean, the hinges are from my original car. I did rebuild them. I'm sure they just have to be greased up and that'll quiet that down. But I'm real happy with how everything looks. I mean, look at that. I'm so happy with that because I've got hours of fighting with these things. You know, multiple pairs of doors, and these ones ended up being okay. So I'm very happy with how the car's going, and yeah, that's my update for now. Let's pull this out. Oh, I did get this. This is cool. So I got this from a buddy of mine. This is an 1.5 inch thick solid steel. This whole top. It's literally a rolling anvil. Those are 1/4 inch tube stock, and he filled them with concrete. It's literally a rolling anvil. The whole thing's got to weigh 2,000 pounds. It is so heavy. But it's going to be great when I get back into my armoring, because I'm going to have all sorts of attachments and things I'll bolt to it. Probably get another bench vise. This is where I've been doing it, which is fine. It's been great. But I'm looking forward to having something that I can use all the sides. And such a huge, perfectly flat surface. So that's what's been going on, and I'm gonna get back to it. All right, so the little spacers here are in. They're really nice. It really takes up almost all of that gap. There's still a little here, but here it's like almost perfectly flat. So hardly any filler will be needed, which is good. Same thing over here. They came out really nice. I finished welding in and ground down this. It's like you can't even tell from before. Looks really nice. I also spent like 2 hours grinding all these plug welds down and cleaned up all the welds around the mini tubs. A lot of grinding, but gotta get done. It's definitely not the most fun part. I like welding a lot more than I like grinding, but part of the process. Till next time.